Hey there, it's Lee here. Welcome to iMineBlocks. So I've just got notified that Claymore has released a new updated and faster Zcash miner. So it is the Zcash miner version 6. So in this video we're going to be taking a look at that new and improved miner across a couple of my different mining rigs. So the first one we're going to be testing it on is Risky-Fire or Worky1. So it's currently mining using the Zcash miner version 4 actually. You can see it here in this command window, and we're getting just about 140 hashes per second, so about 70 hashes for each one of the two rx470s that are in this card. So what I'm going to do now is download the actual latest updated version, and we'll test out on this rig, and then we'll also test it on another machine that I have which has slightly older GPUs in it, and we'll just see how the performance compares across a different range of old and new software and also old and new hardware. So let's go open up the browser first. I've already got the link, so hopefully we'll just paste that in and go. That's actually not the link I wanted. Let's go back and grab that. Actually, we can just do a search for it here. Luckily that was only a Ethereum address and nothing incriminating. Of course, not that there would be. Okay, so let's download it from the Google link. Version 6. I'm just going to extract it to an appropriate folder. And I'm just going to copy this one to the crypto miners folder that I have on my desktop. You can see I've been collecting quite a few miners over the time. What I'm also going to do is I'm just going to copy my start.bat file from here into the new miners location, and it'll just save, make the configuration a bit easier. So I'll paste that into the V6, just replace the file that's already in there, the batch file. Okay, so we're getting 140 hashes per second across the two GPUs, so let's close that now. I'll just quickly show you what's in my batch file. So we've got the call to the miner, the pool, I'm using Supernova, and my worker details. So the first part is my username and the second part is my worker name there. That should actually have a lowercase w. I think it works. Upper or lowercase anyway, and then the password just on the end. There's no other extra configuration at this time. I'll just leave it with the basics. I'm just going to actually close the browser so that doesn't interfere at all. Let's start up this miner and we'll see how it performs. On the two GPUs that I'm running as well, I've gone back to the stock clock. So the core clock is 1216 megahertz and the memory clock is at 1750 on each of the GPUs. Just need to allow access through the firewall. Okay, I'll just leave this running for a minute until it picks up some shares and gives us a display of the hash rate. In the meantime, what I'll do is I will copy this folder across to the other rig that I'm going to show you. So, say I'm using TeamViewer. Whoops. Okay, so just doing some file copying there, and just in the background I noticed the actual the speed output of this miner, and it is much faster than the previous version. We're getting double the hash rate. So on each one of the single rx470s we're getting 140 hashes per second, and like I say, that's just on the standard clocks. So that is a massive performance increase, 100% performance increase over the previous version 4 miner that I was using. I know there was a version 5 as well that also had a performance improvement, but unfortunately I didn't get time to make a video for you guys on that. But yeah, this is a huge increase, so definitely if you want to mine some Zcash, then you definitely want to be using this updated miner. It is crazy fast. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to try moving the Claymore's miner across to another mining rig, and then we'll just see how the performance works on some slightly older hardware. Okay, so we're going to take a look at worker 3 now. So this rig has a it has a 280X in it and also a AMD 7950. The CPU also has a GPU mining core as well. The CPU is at A10 7700K, and like I say, that has a built-in GPU cores as well as. So what that means is that we need to change the batch file configuration just slightly. I'll get onto that in just a minute. I'll just explain what each one of these windows are because I'm doing a few other bits and pieces of the mining. So this Java program here is for the Burstcoin miner, and that's connected to all the hard drives, and it's actually using the GPU cores of the CPU to process that. It's actually a GPU miner. So that's the Burstcoin miner there. We've got the Zcash miner here, which is using the 280X and the 7950, and we're getting about 120 hashes per second on that, so pretty good performance on those older GPUs. And then the bottom right hand side, we've got the CPU miner, which is using the CPU cores of the CPU and getting between 6 to 8 hashes per second. So really just a little bit of sideline mining with that on the side there. So let's close the Zcash GPU miner. What we'll do is we'll, same as before, we'll copy the actual start batch file from the version 4 over to the version 6. And I'll just show you it again because it's got a slightly different configuration to the first machine, and I'll explain why that is. So we've got the miner program, the pool, the worker details, and the password. And then we've got this hyphen DI, so it's a switch DI, and then this is for the actual GPU devices. So what we're telling the miner to use is only use GPU devices 0 and 1. The reason why that is set because I want to use the 280X and the 7950. If I leave this command out, what it will also do is it will mine on those GPU cores that are available on the CPU, and I don't want to do that because I'm keeping those reserved for the Burstcoin miner. So just to explain why that is, so yeah, DI selects which GPU devices that you want to use. So that's that. So let's fire it up and see how much of a performance increase we get. We was getting 120 hashes with version 4, so let's see how this one compares. Oops. I'll just open up those other windows just so you can see kind of what's going on at the same time. Obviously we're doing a bit of multi-mining, which is always good to do if you can. Just got to let it through the firewall, and we'll just let it run for a minute or two just to pick up some shares, and then we'll get a hash rate from it. Okay, so the first update is obviously much faster, 202 hashes per second. Very good, really good start. Okay, we've had our second update there and also our third update. Okay, so it looks like we're just under 214 hashes per second. So that's really good. It's obviously not quite as far as the rx470s, but on a rig versus rig basis is actually really good performance because although it's only slightly slower than the rx470s, when compared to Ethereum mining, that had a much wider gap between the two mining rigs. So what I'm basically getting at is that Zcash mining with this new updated Claymore's miner is better for your older mining hardware. So you don't need to do the super fastest and latest mining equipment. You can run it on your old machines and still get really good performance out of it. Obviously it's not going to be quite as efficient. It's going to run a little bit slower and also use a bit more power, but you're still going to get pretty good performance overall. So it's not quite as vast contrast as it is with Ethereum mining. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. I appreciate all your comments, likes, shares, and of course if you're a subscriber, that makes you super cool. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video.